Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're going to learn how to implement the authentication using Auth.js. To do that, as you see, that's my dummy application here. Once I'm gonna click on that properties here, it will take me to that authoritative that login page screen pages. So now, as you see, that's the setup for this application, and I'm running it from my localhost 3000. And if you want to get the setup from here, you need to just clone this repo. As you see, that's the link. It will be in the description below, and you need to clone it. After that cloning, you need to go inside this application called Sophie. So you need to just clone the repo, then cd into Sophie, then open it the browser. Then after going to the browser, you will be able to see those kind of things available there. Just you need to make that I'm using the pnpm. So if you're using pnpm, it will be pnpm install, then pnpm run deb. If you're using the npm, just npm install and remove that one, and then npm run deb. That's the simple setup. So now what I'm going to do is that creating the login authentication using Auth.js. To get the Auth.js, first let me run that. Should be Nextjs. And if I go back here, so that's the version of here for the Nextjs, which going to be updated. As you see, next Auth.js is becoming Auth.js. We are creating authentication for the web. That means that next Auth.js should be applied for the Auth.js, even though it's in the demo, like in the beta version, but recently it will be come up with the real production. So how we can integrate that? That's the one we're going to set up. So click on get started, and from here in the documentation, I'm going to click on that Nextjs. Okay, so we are going to start with Nextjs, and also we need to create another setup, as I'll be going to make that authentication using that Oauth. I'm going to select that Oauth, and let's try with GitHub. Okay, to start with that, first thing first, you see, we need to go and get that credential. That will be the callback library instances. So callback from the GitHub, and we need to set that environment. So it's saying Nextjs. First of all, we need to, if we go back to the installation process, we need to install that library. So I'm gonna go pnpm install. So that will be, as my application is running from here. Okay, where is running? I think pnpm dev to run that. Okay, I'm gonna run this command here to install that in my library. So it will be available in the package once it's installed. Okay, give it a time for it. Okay, after doing that things, then also I need to get the setup for npx auth secret. It will create just a setup version which is going to be creating that auth secret here in my .env file. So I'm going to create this. As you see, the packages is already installed as the beta. So let's go to .env. I'm gonna grab it there. Okay, should be auth secret. Okay, and after that, I'm gonna save it. So I need to run that command to how we can get that auth secret. You can just put something here which is going to be like something very unique, or you can generate it in your terminal, you know, doing something like that. If you want to generate, you can just go to that Nextjs documentation. How you can do that should be Nextjs, and there will be a command, even though it should be like, if we make Ctrl K, Nextjs secret, we should run one command which will be OpenSSL. So that's the one which going to be give us a 64-bit of random number. Enter. See, that's the command. You need to just copy it and you can paste it here. That's just a random specific number to authorize. Okay, so after doing that, we need to create that Authjs. First, let's go here, because as we have the setup here, we can follow back from here for the Oauth. So now what we need to create a auth.ts file. I'm going to copy this portion, and this file going to lie under in our top. So it will be auth.ts. We are going to authenticate in the root layer. So now here we just doing the same things which we have been done in that Nextjs configuration. We are getting the importing the Nextjs. We are also getting the provider as a GitHub handler, sign in, sign out, and the auth we are getting from the Nextjs as what the provider, the GitHub provider, going to provide. So after that, what we're gonna do is that we need to create that route, which should be API auth that properties. So let's go back here, should be source app, and this would be the route. auth, I think it should be API also, API auth next auth. Okay, so after having that route, as you see, we need to have a file which will be named as called route.ts. Oops, it will be here, route.ts. In the route.ts, we need to copy this command. We need to pass that here, which is going to work as a handlers, and that handlers we're injecting from here in the next auth. Okay, done. So after that, we need to integrate the sign-in method from which going to use that our server action. So now this one we need to implement, and to do that, first of all, let's go and create a sign-in page. So this will be sign in, because we're gonna use that multiple sign-in credentials, and it will be page.tsx rafce should be sign in page. Okay, so now here we're gonna put that credential to go and sign in. And how we're gonna implement? So let's go in our middle header where we have our properties, which going to be this one. Now here, instead of putting the div, I'm gonna put that link, and href should be sign in. Okay, so it will take us to the sign in page. So let's go back here and click in the sign in. Let's just give it a time to reconcile. Okay, it's taking okay, let me just reload that. I think it was just previous caching data or something. Click here, you see I'm in the sign in page. So here I'm gonna do the trick here. So in the sign in page, I'm gonna take within that container. So in the container, I'm gonna just take a h2 tag, which going to be sign in with Oauth, or I can say is that Oauth sign in. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the here. So also I'm gonna make the class name, that padding y should be 10, or I can provide as 5. Okay, done. And for that Oauth, we're gonna just go give some class name. Text should be Excel, font would be semi bold, and gonna give underline offset should be 2, and decoration should be 1 pixel. Okay, done. And MB should be 2. Okay, now that's the Oauth sign in. Now I need to get a button here which is going to give me that credential to make sign in. And how we gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna get a button. Okay, and that button, it will be say sign in with Google, or first you can say as GitHub, as I'm running in GitHub, or you can just provide that Google, or this depends on you. We can provide the Google, we can provide the GitHub. First to do that, we need to get also one icon, but okay, let's see. Sign in with GitHub. Okay, so here I'm gonna inject one image, so it will be image, and we need to import it from next image. And I have one image. If you roll back to the source directory, which going to be GitHub image. Okay, and here alt tab should be GitHub image, and class name, first I'm gonna keep that same. Okay, you see that's the image I have. So let's just provide some of the class name to make it looks perfect. Should be, we're gonna just provide that width of 10. Okay, I think that's serving the purpose. Okay, now it's cool. So here put some class name, and that will be making that just to inflexible position should be a flex item center. Give me border should be gray of, let's say 400, and I'm gonna make that padding x should be 4, and padding y should be 1, and hover, whenever I'm gonna hover, border should be gray of, just put slight difference of 600, and the duration I'm gonna provide as 200. It's safe, as you see. Okay, that's cool. Put a rounded of MD. Now if I click on that, I need to initialize the sign in, and I'm gonna give a gap of 1. Now how we can create the sign in, as you see, and the from is using not as a button but as a from. So what we can do in that all the instances, we can make it as a from, and then we can pass that section here. So now as you see, I'm gonna take it with a function as an inline function here. So on the actions is generating that function, so that's the action. See, it's just calling a function, and itself the function which is a async function. Okay, so it's working as in the server. As I make it async function here, you see that's the return value of a function. Now in that function specifically is written as a use server, and after that we're getting the call. So it will be await and then sign in, and that sign in need to be implemented from that auth, not from the next auth. Okay, as you see, and we need to provide which signing we're gonna use. We are going to use that GitHub signing. And now if everything is working fine, still there would be a problem. As you see that we provide the auth secret, but we need to get two more credential here, which going to be that client provider here or some other parameters. And how we can do that, as you see the credential or the magic link, we can just roll back there. So we need I think two more properties. Even is, yeah, that one, auth GitHub ID. So that will be here, auth GitHub ID, and then auth GitHub secret. Now as you see, not either like for that we don't need to link with the process.env as is in the root file. You see that auth is in the root alongside with that env file, so they can, it has the purpose to access those files. So no need to allow that auth GitHub ID, auth GitHub secret from that process, right? So that's the project repo link which I'm gonna share in the description, so don't worry about it. Now how you can go with that, as you see, you just simply go with your GitHub account, because we need two credential here, one GitHub ID, one GitHub secret. And from here we're gonna go with simply in the settings, and from the settings we're gonna go back down here with the developer settings. As you see, Oauth apps, I have so many apps here. I'm gonna take a new Oauth app, give the name as Sophie, and the URL should be the URL here, this one. And as you see, remember one API auth callback GitHub. So that will be the authorization callback, API auth callback GitHub with our URL. So register our application, and after registering we are going to get that client ID. That client ID is that ID. Now we need to get the secret, and again I'm saying don't use the secret because I'm gonna delete that account, so don't worry about that. So this app will be deleted, so don't copy paste, generate your own secret. So once you generate, as you see, you need to copy that secret and paste it here. And after pasting, go back here and update your application. Okay, so now application is updated. If we roll back here, as you see, if we click on the sign in with GitHub, as you see, we redirect to the authorization in our profile, and we are coming backwards to our application, means we are logged in. So now how we can say, or how we can see that if we logged in or not, right? Because it's saying logged in, but are we? So let's go back to our middle header. So it will be our middle header here. So here we're gonna get, as you see, that's the server, that's not a client-side component. So we're gonna get our session here. So as is a async function here, so make const should be session is equal to, should be await. We're gonna get the auth, and that auth from the coming from that auth. Okay, now I'm gonna open my terminal also. Let's just log and see what is coming with a session. So it will be log, and let's get the session. Hit save, and if, as you see, we have the username, we have the expiries, so we have all the data available here. So now here I'm gonna get a condition here. So whenever I'm gonna having a session, let's see if I have a session and then the user. If I have that, I'm gonna provide that. If I don't have, I'm gonna provide something else. If I have the user, I'm gonna take it to the profile, not the sign in. And as a hello guest, it will be that session dot user dot name. And also instead of logging register, I'm gonna take view, should be view profile. Hit save, and after saving, as you see, okay, cool. If you click, of course that page will be not found because we need to create that page. So it will be, we're gonna create a page called profile, and here we're gonna make that as page.tsx or fce to just implement that. Should be profile page. Okay, it will be coming here. As you see, that's our profile page, and instead of this, we're gonna make that as a container. Okay, and we're gonna just make that here. So we're gonna just put a name, that profile page, and lorem 200. I'm just putting the text because I'm not gonna design that right now, because that's not my motive. Padding y5, and here I'm gonna just make that class name. Text should be Excel, font should be semi-bold, MB should be 2. Okay, that's my profile page. So now I need to get the image also here. To get the image, instead of that fa reg user, I'm gonna make that as image, and in that image I'm gonna provide that source. That source will be session dot user dot it should be dot image. Okay, and we need to provide also alt text should be user image, and also as an external image we need to provide the width, we need to provide the height to let the server do the action and do the trick. Of course, we need to make one more setup, is that we need to initialize this one as in our next config.mjs file. So it's in the root file, of course, and that here, as we already taken one more here, I'm gonna just copy this, and here I'm gonna paste our GitHub parameter. And after doing that, you can close the terminal, or you can just make it as reload. Give it a time to reconsider and recombine, as we're gonna lose the user and other parameter. But while it's reloading, let's go back there. As you see in the middle header, there is an issue because we need to say a check that image will be available there. So this is the one portion, and another portion is that once I have the session, I'm gonna just close it. I'm gonna copy this portion, and I'm gonna go back to my bottom header. I'm gonna just get back this session here also. Okay, so it will be await, take the session. So here also I'm gonna run a condition here, which going to be give me that. I think where is the problem is in the profile or array. We are missing something. Invalid source pop. Okay, GitHub content as we did properly. Okay, avatars. Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reload that here. Maybe it will go. But it's saying avatars. Okay, maybe, yeah, I have a mistake. So this this line was there, this one, when I copy that. So means, okay, making reload again. That's just a silly problem. So as you see, we have the navigation array. So after immediate finishing the navigation array, I'm gonna make a button here, which going to be same as a, let's go back to create a button. We say sign out. The S will be big. So that's the one I'm creating here. There will be a button. As you see, this is the one, but this image need to be modified. First, let's go back here, and where I use that image should be a class name, and width should be 10. And from here, I'm gonna remove the padding from the parent layer, and here I'm gonna say is that rounded full. Okay, I think it will solve the issue. Okay, as you see, that's working fine. Now I need to create that sign in button. And to do that, as you see, I have the sign in button, and for the sign in, as you see mathematically what's written here, we're gonna just implement that. This is the sign in, and for the sign out, that will be the similar process. Okay, I'm gonna copy that, or yeah, that will be the similar process, I believe so. Let's try. If it's failed, okay, we're gonna try again. So I'm gonna just create the from, and here await should be sign out coming from the next auth. Okay, that's the same server action, same server things I'm providing, and the name it will be sign out, or you can just make that as logout. Okay, if I click, see, instant, it's work as instantly. Now I'm not sign out, but I'm still in the login in the profile page, which should not be allowed, right? So how we can just remove that instances? So I'm gonna copy that. So, and also if I'm not sign in, that logout button should not be implemented here. So what I'm gonna do, this from this entire button parameters I'm gonna cut and say whenever I have that session and I have the user, only that time it will implement. Okay, so that's the issue only. Now you see it's gone. I'm gonna take my session there over the profile page, so that will be my profile. Here I'm gonna paste that, and it should be a sync function, and I'm gonna write a condition here. If a session is there, then what it gonna do, what I'm gonna say, if we have the session, so means if we don't have session, what I'm gonna do is that redirect, sorry, it should be redirect from, it will redirect to my home page. It will not keep me here. Okay, so as I'm here, as you see, I'm not in my profile. Okay, I'm just in my home page, so I don't have my login instances. If I roll back to my profile, as you see, I can't go back to the profile, but I can go to see my logged in. So now here, the similar parameter, I'm gonna also do it in the sign in page. What I'm gonna do it here, I'm gonna take the next auth, and also I'm gonna make it as a sync function. Okay, and also I need to import the redirect. Here I'm gonna just define, if I have session, I don't want to see user here, it will automatically redirect from there. So if I have click in here just to create the login, now as you see, everything I'm using at the server side, not in a single bit in a client side. If I go back here and make a sign in, as you see, no, I can't view it, but I can view the profile. Only I can view if I doesn't have the user. If I log out, instant, it's working very rapid, very fast, even in the development mode, because all the actions is happening in the server. That's the boosting when you are developing an application, and it's also checking in the root. Now what do you think? Is this helping you? If it's helping you, please like the video and also subscribe the channel, and please share this video so people can watch and they can learn from it. And also let me know in the comments below if you need something more on that. If you have any problem to understand the method, let me know in the comments. I will try to help you. So now this is the default setup of our application. Here we create a simple combined setup by which we can go and create the login with GitHub. Now you can use another credential that Google and other parameter. The simple thing is that to just get the credential, so I can view my profile. If I click logout, it's redirecting me to my home page. So for this video, that's all. And if you need anything on that purposes, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna save the purpose and do that for you. Till then, stay good. We'll see you in the next video.